Σταθμαλάκι, μην το γράψετε.
Μπορείτε να το πάτε το κόσμο από πάνω.
Το έχει σχέδιο το πορτρέτο της Κυκλεμαχόπουλου στο Φεστιβάλ Αθηνών. Και το έχει στο γραφείο της.
Δεν έχω ιδέα.
Από πάνω και προς τα εκεί, αν έχετε την καλοσύνη, οδηγήστε λίγο τον κόσμο. Γεια σας. Καλά, εσείς.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and Happy New Year. This is a very special day for us today, for the GNO, a day where we feel deeply moved and very happy as well. We'd like to announce a piece of news that will change the very future of the Greek National Opera. I'd like to ask the head of the board of directors of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation, Mr. Andreas Strakopoulos, to take the floor. Thank you very much, George. Happy New Year to everyone. The news is that we have decided to give a new grant to the GNO, a 20 million euro grant over a 4-year period, so as to make the GNO more extroverted, more outward-looking, and also to cover the program for the celebration of the 200 years since the outbreak of the Greek War of Independence. I think this is a sizable amount, but it also responds to the great work done by the GNO, and when it actually works through this center, everything is much better, and through this great hall. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andreas, very much for this very generous grant. I'd like to say a few words now so that I can set the scene regarding this grant, which, as was mentioned by Mr. Drakopoulos, is a 20 million euro grant for a period of 4 years. Let's watch the video now, and then we'll continue afterwards. Thank you.
Η δωρεά του Ιδρύματος Σταύρος Νιάρχος για το νέο μας σπίτι έχει τα χαρακτηριστικά της εθνικής ευεργεσίας.
Το Ίδρυμα Σταύρος Νιάρχος, μέσω της δωρεάς του για το Κέντρο Πολιτισμού Ίδρυμα Σταύρος Νιάρχος, συνολικού προϋπολογισμού 861 εκατομμυρίων δολαρίων, έδωσε την ευκαιρία στην εθνική λυρική σκηνή για ένα νέο ξεκίνημα με τις ιδανικότερες συνθήκες. Παράλληλα, και καθώς πλησιάζαμε στην ολοκλήρωση του έργου, το Ίδρυμα ενέκρινε δωρεά ύψους 5 εκατομμυρίων ευρώ για τη μετεγκατάσταση της εθνικής λυρικής σκηνής στο Κέντρο Πολιτισμού Ίδρυμα Σταύρος Νιάρχος. Το 2017, μετά την έναρξη της λειτουργίας της στο νέο της σπίτι, το Ίδρυμα Σταύρος Νιάρχος ανακοίνωσε επιπλέον μία δωρεά 2,5 εκατομμυρίων ευρώ για τον προγραμματισμό της εναλλακτικής σκηνής και τα εκπαιδευτικά και κοινωνικά προγράμματα της εθνικής λυρικής σκηνής έως το 2020.
Εναλλακτική σκηνή σημαίνει έρευνα, ρίσκο, διαρκής αμφισβήτηση των βεβαιοτήτων μας. Χάρη στις δωρεές του Ιδρύματος Σταύρος Νιάρχος και έχοντας ως πρίκα μία μοναδική πολυμορφική αίθουσα, επενδύουμε σε μία δημιουργική σχέση με το νεανικότερο και πιο ανήσυχο κομμάτι του κοινού.
Από το 2016, που δημιουργήθηκε το Τμήμα Εκπαιδευτικών και Κοινωνικών Δράσεων με αποκλειστική δωρεά του Ιδρύματος Σταύρος Νιάρχος, έχουμε έρθει σε επαφή και έχουμε συνομιλήσει με παιδιά, με εφήβους και νέους, αλλά και με άτομα άνω των 65. Ακόμα έχουμε εργαστεί με εκπαιδευτικούς, με άτομα με αναπηρίες, με πρόσφυγες και μετανάστες, ενώ έχουμε μια σταθερή πλέον σχέση με χώρους παροχής υπηρεσιών υγείας και με καταστήματα κράτησης ανά την Ελλάδα.
Χάρη στη δωρεά της μετεγκατάστασης, καταφέραμε μεταξύ άλλων να υλοποιήσουμε μια στρατηγική συνεργασία με τη Βασιλική Όπερα του Λονδίνου. Στο πλαίσιο της ίδιας δωρεάς, είχαμε την ευκαιρία ανταλλαγής τεχνογνωσίας με τα αντίστοιχα θέατρα της Ευρώπης, πραγματοποιήθηκε εκπαίδευση του προσωπικού της εθνικής λυρικής σκηνής, αγοράστηκε τεχνικός εξοπλισμός, υλοποιήθηκε το νέο site της λυρικής και άλλα πολλά.
Με την έναρξη της λειτουργίας μας στο νέο μας κτίριο, βελτιώθηκε σημαντικά ο τρόπος δουλειάς και η καλλιτεχνική προετοιμασία των παραγωγών μας, καθώς διαθέτουμε πλέον υπερσύγχρονες αίθουσες δοκιμών για τα σύνολά μας και επιτέλους βρεθήκαμε και όλοι μαζί σε ένα κτίριο, κάτι που μας έλειπε πολύ.
Είμαι ιδιαιτέρως ευτυχής γιατί ο Ανδρέας Δρακόπουλος και το Ίδρυμα Σταύρος Νιάρχος έλαβαν την απόφαση να στηρίξουν τη διεθνή παρουσία της εθνικής λυρικής σκηνής. Αυτό που με περιορισμένα μέσα πετύχαμε τα 2 χρόνια που βρισκόμαστε στο Κέντρο Πολιτισμού Ίδρυμα Σταύρος Νιάρχος θα γιγαντωθεί με στόχους, με ευαισθησία και με επιμονή. Η νέα δωρεά θα μας βοηθήσει να αναπτύξουμε ένα ισχυρό δίκτυο συνεργασιών, συμπαραγωγών με μεγάλα θέατρα του εξωτερικού, αλλά και μετάκληση σπουδαίων καλλιτεχνών. Επιπλέον, στρατηγικός μας στόχος θα είναι η εξαγωγή του καλλιτεχνικού μας έργου.
Η νέα δωρεά έρχεται να στηρίξει το καλλιτεχνικό έργο για την εικόνα της λυρικής εκτός συνόρων. Το Ίδρυμα Σταύρος Νιάρχος δίνει την όθηση στη λυρική να μεγαλουργήσει καλλιτεχνικά και να σταθεί ισότιμα απέναντι στα μεγάλα λυρικά θέατρα του εξωτερικού.
Για τον παλέτο της λυρικής, η νέα δωρεά από το Ίδρυμα Σταύρος Νιάρχος θα σημάνει την αρχή μιας νέας εποχής που θα διευρύνει τους ορίζοντές μας μέσα από συμπράξεις με κορυφαίους χορογράφους, σημαντικούς φορείς, αλλά και νέες αναθέσεις και παραγωγές που θα ταξιδέψουν στο εξωτερικό.
Το 2021 θα παρουσιάσουμε ένα πρόγραμμα αφιερωμένο στην Ελληνική Επανάσταση, γιορτάζοντας τα 200 χρόνια από το 1821.
Παράλληλα με τη δωρεά για την εξωστρέφεια, το Ίδρυμα Σταύρος Νιάρχος στηρίζει το αφιέρωμα της λυρικής σκηνής για τα 200 χρόνια από την Ελληνική Επανάσταση. Για μας, η λυρική σκηνή είναι ένας εθνικός θησαυρός και είμαστε εδώ για να στηρίξουμε και να επιβραβεύσουμε το έργο της.
Δεσμευόμαστε για την ουσιαστική διαμόρφωση μιας νέας καλλιτεχνικής ταυτότητας, αλλά και τη γνωστοποίηση του έργου μας εκτός Ελλάδας.
I just wanted to say one thing, that the core of the discussions we had with George, and here I'd like to say that George and I met 2 years ago here in this very same hall, and sometimes we communicate without uttering a word. So I think we share a common vision, and the core of our discussions regarding this new grant was being extroverted, and I'm talking about this outreach program. And it's not just what you manage to get from abroad, for example, co-productions. It's regarding people outside Greece. We want people outside Greece to get to know the wonderful work done by the GNO, and I'm talking about the artistic programs and the staff. This is a national treasure, and I think that people abroad should get to know more about this national treasure we have. Remember, Andreas, when we talked in August, end of August, I think it was, when we had this meeting, and you said the GNO is doing well in Greece, but unfortunately abroad it's not well known, and this is true. It's a reality. I think that the contribution of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation is just that. It will give us the opportunity for us to open our wings and fly abroad. And this is something that we should remember from today's press conference. So I'm going to tell you a couple of words now. I'm going to read it out to be more exact. So when, around about 2 years ago, we said that our official inauguration, our opening at the Stavros Niarchos Foundation will be with the help of Agni Valtsa, the best-known mezzo-soprano, there was a renewed interest from abroad regarding the GNO. Friends of opera from all over Europe wanted to come to Athens in order to witness this remarkable event, and the Electra performances had the biggest turnout, and I'm talking about foreign spectators, the biggest turnout of foreign spectators in the history of the GNO. A little bit afterwards, when we started selling tickets for the Magic Flute by Comics Opera of Berlin, and of course Lucia de la Mermour by Katie Mitchell in co-production with the Royal Opera House of London, this actually movement started taking shape and form and gave us a lot of optimism. This is a trend that continued in the 2 works by Janacek, which we presented for the first time in the GNO, but also in Carmen at the Rhodes Atticus Odeon. We also had the invitation of Mrs. Merkashvili, and the New York Times recently wrote that she was one of the best performers of Carmen for 2018. This created a wave of enthusiasm for opera lovers in other countries, and there was a great interest aroused by the Levis Macbeth of Mshenks by Sostakovich. They're coming in May, so we don't only have Fanny Adan, who's a part of it, but in the costumes we have Milena Canonero, that has 4 Oscars. We also have Bias Weitchen and also the Luca Bigacci, who is the responsible for lighting, the lighting technician. I'm just giving you these examples to show you that with the limited means we have at our disposal, our vision, and also the interest that we placed in primary productions and commissioning of new projects and working with people from other fields of art. And of course, I'm also talking about the operation of the alternative stage. So our stigma is now on the radar abroad, and we also have a good response from the Greek public as well. Of course, we have to admit that our new building is a great factor to attract foreign spectators and foreign media. So together with the glamour of our new opera hall, we believe that the new artistic identity of the GNO converses on an equal footing with other theatres. So we have the new grant, which is of a 4-year period by SNF, the amount being 20 million euro. This was just announced by Andreas Drakopoulos. So this new grant will give fresh impetus to our outreach program. It will support our artistic vision, and it will help us work systematically in order to shape our new artistic identity. And I think we've already shown some examples of our identity in the 2 years that we're here. So the announcement of this new grant by the SNF gave us great joy. But beyond that, it will also mark the recording of our own commitment, our commitment to have a comprehensive 4-year plan in place. So the main axes that we will work on are the following: co-generations, co-productions, cooperations with ballets, theatres and dance groups from all over the world, and we will have a unique identity. This will allow our own identity to go a step further. Invitations of arch musicians, choreographers, directors, costume designers, dancers who have something special to say and who are at the heyday of their glory will allow us to work creatively with them and engage in a fruitful relationship. So our artistic work will now be made known to the rest of the world. And we're talking about Greek culture in general and modern Greek culture. I think this is very important because this is what we can export abroad by way of primary production. So Greek designers, Greek artists create a very high caliber work, and the time has come for this work to be known outside the borders of Greece. As you all know, the GNO in the last few years has commissioned many new projects, and we have first presentations and very interesting creations. With the help of the new grant, our performances will tour abroad. The new musical works will be presented in festivals and theatres, and Greek artists who are worthy will test their luck abroad and be be sent abroad. So here we mark the 200 years from the outbreak of the Greek Revolution. And for that, for 2021, we will have new opera and ballet performances, new commissions. We will work with the distinguished Greek and foreign artists. So the main theme is for the Greek Revolution to be interpreted not as a local phenomenon, but as a historical event of paramount importance, of global importance, but also to link it with other revolutions that led to the creation of the new independent nation states of the modern world, like the French Revolution and the American Revolution. Last but not least, in order for us to be able to show off our work in Greece and abroad, part of the grant will be used for the promotion of the GNO. I'd like to thank Andreas Drakopoulos in public from the bottom of my heart for the great contribution, for the great support that the SNF has offered us all these years, but also for his persistence. He believed that good and excellent things should be rewarded. I would also like to personally thank the members of the SNF in New York and in Athens. Stelios Vasilakis, Vasilis Tsamis, Yannis Zervakis, Giorgos Goridis, Vasili Kaskareli, Pano Papoulia, Christina Glambropoulou, Eli Andriopoulou, Spiros Alexopoulos, Mili Paschali, Lenia Vlavianou, Anna Maria Kosmoglou, Elenia Saluzzi, not just for their support to the GNO, but mainly for the trust they placed in us and for having such an honest relationship under difficult conditions and very demanding conditions. Before ending, I think it would be good to clarify that the new grant of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation is not replacing the role of the Ministry of Culture and Sport in any way whatsoever. The ministry is responsible to ensure the smooth operation and survival of the GNO. On this occasion, I'd like to thank Mrs. Mixini Zorba, the Minister, and the Deputy Minister, Mr. Konstantinos Stratis, for the excellent communication, for fully understanding our requests, and for the invaluable help and support. I express the hope that covering the operating cost to the SNF will soon be solved by the Greek state. I would like, in conclusion, to express once again our great joy that this new grant comes to offer the GNO the opportunity to further develop its artistic work, to strengthen its image inside and outside Greece, and also to show off its great capabilities. Thank you very much for your presence.
If you have any questions, we are ready to take them now. I believe that George covered us all. He practically said everything, so there are perhaps no questions. Anyone? A question. Do you have any idea as to which the first production of the GNO that will travel abroad will be? That's a hard one, I have to say. I don't believe it will be only one such performance. I believe there will be a whole circle, a cycle of a couple of productions which should be traveling simultaneously abroad. The quota for the GNO and the share of quotas amongst the GNO, the ballet, and the alternative stage will be giving the tone, but I cannot really know right now out of my head which productions will go out. No, to tell the truth, we don't have any ideas yet. The procedure has been launched already, and contacts are underway, quite a number of them, actually, with various agencies abroad. I imagine that within the next 1.5 to 2 months, they will be able to give the 4-year-long program some more solid shape. As you know, this is for the whole idea to get better momentum over the years. You know, after a systematic launching and towards the last of the 4-year period, there will be more tangible actions that are meant to be more comprehensive and widely acclaimed. What with the co-productions we have in mind, and by the way, we have been having very important contacts with major operas abroad, with producers and directors and quite a number of musicians. We reserve ourselves the pleasure of sharing with you the names of those people. As of our next meeting, we'll be having something important to showcase, believe me. There will be contacts both in the US and Europe, and hopefully even beyond. This is a very dear wish of ours to also be present in Asia. So now here we have so many questions. After the first moments of silence, good morning. Is there any projection of sorts for children productions? As you know, productions for children are an important part of our activity, and you have seen so yourselves as of the alternative stage activities. Here at Stavros Niarchos, there have been productions that were highly acclaimed, and this is meant to continue for the years to come. eventually some of them might be able to travel abroad, yes. What we are trying to attain is primary production performances, and this will happen through commissioning plays and performances to Greek performers and others. Plays and works that really reflect today's realities, which makes it more interesting for these performances to travel abroad. All other things the Europeans know much more than we do. So what we need to show them is what it is exactly. We have our major deposit and of producers and performers in Greece. Have you been thinking about what directions your productions will be taking in view of celebrations for the anniversary of the Greek Revolution? The answer. When it comes to this major celebration of the 200 years anniversary since the Greek Revolution against the Ottomans, are quite as many. These will be productions meant to be staged within Greece, others meant to be staged outside Hellenic territory, involving celebrated creators and performers of international aura, and we have started contacting them one by one. Quite a wide array of plays will be considered. It would not be advisable for the moment to give you more details, but yes, everything has been well structured. We have been very minutious in the way we're planning things, and we are now in the process of launching ourselves in reality. The idea is to give a tone which will be multiple, the notion of democracy, the notion of nations and nation states, the importance of the relationship amongst the revolutions of the time, and how they were able to reverse the state of play around the world at the time through the launching of revolutionary ideas and innovative initiatives. This is what will be giving the tone to our contribution. Ours is not an idea of only focusing on Greek realities. We mean to become more expansive and indeed inclusive. And if anything, I may give you one aspect of this multiplicity of our approach. As far as our presence is concerned and the ideas we mean to showcase for the months to come when it comes to celebrations, we will be asking Turkish producers, artists, and so on to share with us their view of the Greek Revolution, how things are seen from outside Greece. This is meant to be something very powerful, very meaningful creation, because we'll be giving the other side of the moon. And another thing we're also very much interested in, and again I will be very generic on purpose without giving you more details for the moment, we mean to not only harbor our expression of ideas, but also encourage the opposite opinion, because there are the positive as well as the negative aspects in anything, and we mean to be very comprehensive. This, I believe, will be triggering a higher interest. One more question, if I may. In a couple of days, a very original program will be launched implying the cooperation of opera with visual arts and other activities. I wonder whether over the 4 years program, through this grant, you have also been considering having your productions involving other forms of art with Greek visual artists and others, which will be giving those people a platform to also perform abroad. Will this help your extrovertness? Of course, this has always been the case, and because of the particularity of the premises, we were able to have a more comprehensive idea of opera and visual arts, and we are considering the way for all forms of art to liaise. So we are sharing amongst ourselves ideas that are, I believe, primary, just the one you just voiced about the cooperation with visual arts, precisely because our idea is to have a different vision of music, approach music differently through the scope of other forms of arts and, of course, disciplines. Yes, there will be quite a varied program that will be dedicated to the way various forms of arts can liaise and cooperate, as you know, and we're having very timid steps taken in that sense. On the premises right here over the next few months and at the alternative stage, you'll be seeing various initiatives of cooperation that will help us shift away slightly from the classical approach of what opera is, because opera is something quite flexible that allows us to travel through very different vehicles, and indeed it would be a shame to remain enclosed, confined in closed premises. The opera, the classical opera, per se is a very inclusive notion. It would be a pity indeed not to take advantage of the multiplicity of the premises to experiment on something quite novel. Well, what is happening here? All questions are directed to me, Andreas. What is happening? Good morning and Happy New Year to all. Congratulations on this grant. The question is relevant to programming. Yours is, as you said, a 4-year program. Would this involve this idea of the Greek National Opera staging the Wagner's tetralogy? Because this has been around for some time. Will you be also dealing with the historic tradition of Greek productions? Since you are investing in yourselves in extrovertness, will you be doing that as well? Traditionally, operas are also working on this kind of repertoire. Starting from your last question, sir, besides commissioning new works, the National School is also high on our agenda, and you'll see that in 2021, one of our operas will be on a theme that is relevant to the 1821 Greek Revolution. You may just as well fathom what the title will be, but we will be trying to do much more than what is about Wagner. We'll be trying to redetermine the Greek National School. Wagner is in itself a huge chapter. This is not the moment or the place to take this kind of step, but it's always on the back of our mind, and we are already in discussions with Royal Opera House towards staging a co-production of one of Wagner's operas. It is quite high on our agenda, as I said. It might just as well be a part of the tetralogy, but this is something that is very progressive, and we should be very careful as to how we structure it. To stage the entire tetralogy requires quite a lot of resources in all senses, from production and staging to scenic presence and finance. This is something huge. Of course, it's not something that scares us. We have already the experience with Electra, as you remember. We went down this path with major works like those of Janacek in the 20th century. Shostakovich is part of our repertoire, and now slowly and steadily we are tracing the course of the Greek National Opera. This is something that allows us to get all the way to Wagner, but we should do this in the appropriate way. Listening to you about this 4-year program, something came to my mind. It is an issue that somehow has become inherent to your institution. It is about viability. Have you thought about this international message that is being conveyed through such productions, and the Cultural Center is also attempting to share in this effort every year, trying to be of service to this hub of sustainability. Have you thought of ways to endow this action of yours an international aura? Oh yes, of course, and you are quite right. We have already been thinking about it. We are all three of us agencies involved, very much coinciding in the way we approach. The Stavros Niarchos Foundation, the National Library, and ourselves are already liaising in a number of things, and these are topics very high on our agenda, all of three of us. The Cultural Center, of course, it goes without saying, has been developing very interesting ideas in that sense. We, of course, are also very much considering these, and we are investigating into ways of making this happen. Many times we think about it. Of course, this ascribes the context of very innovative ideas, which are not meant to scare us in any way. And you're absolutely right. There must be a way for these ideas to be very well communicated abroad in a targeted way, of course. Fine then, I believe we're done. And you will find your way out through this or that gate, whichever you prefer, but you won't have to jump over the railings. Thank you very much for being with us, and Happy New Year to you all.